Found out my fiancé and my sister planned a secret elopement Sunday mornings, and our apartment were always slow. Coffee in the French press, sunlight fingering through the blinds, a lazy playlist humming in the background. I was wearing a shirt of his, and one of my socks had a hole in the toe that I kept fiddling with. He, Ryan, was in sweats, hair sticking up in that way I liked, studying his phone like it held some secret that could cure the entire world's Monday dread. I was trying to coax him into helping me pick a shade of sage green for the table runners. He didn't care about table runners, and I didn't care about the Premier League. And somehow that was part of our charm. It felt like comfort, like the kind you sink into without thinking, like you could fall asleep on a moving train and trust it will carry you home. We were 6 months out from our wedding, invitations drafted, catering deposit down. My mom had cried happy tears when I showed her the dress. My sister Lily had actually squealed and tackled me onto the bed, nearly crushing the tulle. She's 2 years younger and the family's favorite in that way that isn't anyone's fault but still feels like a bruise you can't stop pressing. The golden child. She glows, like if the sun had a giggle. She and Ryan got along in that way you want your fiancé and sister to get along. They joked relentlessly. He called her trouble and she pretended to be offended. It felt like a sitcom. So, Sunday, coffee, a normal scene. If I picture it now, I can almost trick myself into believing that was the last moment I was still inside my life. It's the frame before the jump cut. The first red flag was soft, almost sweet. Ryan had changed his phone's lock screen a few weeks earlier. He said his company's security policy required two-factor everything, and he didn't want to keep being reckless with his privacy. A reasonable adult thing, right? It should have been the most boring sentence ever. He started taking his phone with him everywhere, shower, the laundry room, even to take out the trash. He made it seem like a running joke. "If my phone dies, so does my career," he'd say, and then he'd kiss my forehead and dash out the door with his keys. I would laugh, because that's what you do when you don't yet have a reason not to. Then there was the ring. Not mine, Lily's. She started wearing this delicate gold band on her right hand, stacked with a thin diamond pavé ring. She said she was trying out a look. Lily has always been experimental. Hair colors, nail shapes, makeup, clothes. She'd say, "I'm a maximalist," with a wink. But I noticed she kept touching those rings absent-mindedly, like a comfort thing, like she was nervous, and the rings were the worry beads. I also noticed my mom seemed to tiptoe around certain topics when we were all together. She'd bring up the seating chart and then suddenly pivot to ask Lily if she'd checked the oil in her car. Or she'd mention honeymoon destinations and then cough and ask me where I'd left the good pie server. Our dad is not subtle. He'd blurt out that social media is controlling our brains, and Lily would laugh and ruffle his hair like he was a dog, and they'd all talk over the flicker of something I didn't have a word for yet. A faint hum under everyday noises. The sensory details now feel like signposts. The way Ryan started wearing cologne again. This cedar citrus one he used to save for fancy dinners. He started wearing it to go for a run. He started running more. He said it helped his anxiety. He started trimming his beard more precisely. And with Lily, the small changes. She came over less. When she did, she'd stay by the window, holding her phone in the light like it needed sun to charge. She'd leave in a hurry, claiming she had a bridesmaid emergency at the boutique where she worked part-time. They were restocking dresses in cloud blue and moody lilac. She'd kiss my cheek and say, "You're going to be the most beautiful bride." I'd watch her float away and feel this tiny tug, like a loose thread catching on the rough wood of a chair. And then I'd smooth it down and say, "Stop it. Don't be paranoid." There are 1,000 little moments like that. I could stack them like dominoes and still not have the one that toppled everything. The turning point wasn't one of those dramatic, cinematic scenes where a phone buzzes on the counter and everything goes slow motion. It was so mundane, it feels like a prank. I was looking for a photo, one of those candids where you just decide, this is the story of us now. It was the night we moved into our place. We'd eaten Thai on the floor and used toilet paper as napkins because we had no real ones yet. I wanted to post it for our move-in anniversary because I'm that person. I overshare out of love and boredom and a need to narrate my life to make it feel coherent. The photo wasn't on my phone, so I grabbed Ryan's iPad from the coffee table because our devices are connected through some digital cloud string I barely understand. Or they were. I didn't know he'd changed that too. When I opened the iPad, it asked for a passcode instead of Face ID. He'd disabled sharing for privacy. It made me pause. Not because I thought something was wrong, but because I thought, huh, when did we stop being we about tech? He walked in just then, wet hair darkening the collar of his t-shirt, and saw me with the iPad. He startled, like a deer in a backyard. "That's dead," he said. "Too fast. Needs charging." "It's fine," I said. "I just need that photo." He stood there, a towel on his shoulder like a limp flag, and then he smiled. "I'll find it for you later." I gotta hop on a call with the Berlin team. I felt that pull again. That tiny thread snagging. "It'll take 2 seconds," I said. And for the first time in maybe ever, he looked at me like I was a problem. He looked at me like my request was a staircase he didn't want to climb. Something brazen and ugly rose up in me. "What's your code?" I asked. Light. Just a question. He named the year we met. I typed it in. It didn't work. He tried again, naming the month we got engaged. Nope. He laughed, played it off. I changed it to something I'd remember. "It's dumb. Here." He took the iPad gently but swiftly from my hands. Too gently. People think gentleness can't be a weapon. It can. It can cut you more cleanly because there's not even the dignity of a struggle. He plugged the iPad into the wall. "It's dead anyway," he said again. I was quiet. He kissed my cheek. He smelled like the cedar citrus. He left the room to make his call with Berlin. The bathroom door clicked. The shower turned on again. Who needs a call with Berlin in the shower? That's the kind of question you only think of later, when everything is a montage of errors. I told myself to stop spiraling. This is my least favorite phrase, stop spiraling. As if your nervous system is a faucet and someone can just twist you closed. We had dinner. We sat on the couch and watched trash TV. He laughed at all the same moments as me. If I had to testify under oath about that night, I'd say he was a person I knew. He drooped his head onto my shoulder like he always did when he was full. He said, "I love you," in that absent, comfortable way. I said it back. I did love him, the way you love a house you think you will grow old in. The code he gave me.